across human cultures. States Michel Foucault. The truth of sex has been produced and shared by two processes. One method has been ars erotica texts, while the other has been the scientia sexualis literature. The first are typically of the hidden variety and shared by one person to another, between friends or from a master to a student, focusing on the emotions and experience. Sans physiology. These bury many of the truths about sex and human sexual nature. The second are empirical studies of the type found in biology, physiology and medical texts, focusing on the physiology and objective observations. Sans emotions. The Kama Sutra belongs to both camps, states Doniger. It discusses, in its distilled form, the physiology, the emotions and the experience while citing and quoting prior Sanskrit scholarship on the nature of karma. The Kama Sutra is a sutra-genre text consisting of intensely condensed, aphoristic verses. Doniger describes them as a kind of atomic string, thread, of meanings, which are so cryptic that any translation is more like deciphering and filling in the text. Condensing a text into a sutra-genre religious text form makes it easier to remember and transmit. But it also introduces ambiguity and the need to understand the context of each chapter, its philological roots, as well as the prior literature, states Doniger. However, this method of knowledge preservation and transmission has its foundation in the Vedas, which themselves are cryptic and require a commentator and teacher guide to comprehend the details and the interrelationship of the ideas. The Kama Sutra too has attracted commentaries, of which the most well-known are those of 12th century or 13th century Yasodhara, S. Jayamangala in the Sanskrit language, and of Devadatta Shastri who commented on the original text as well as its commentaries in the Hindi language. There are many other Sanskrit commentaries on the Kama Sutra, such as the Sutra Vritti by Narsingha Sastri. These commentaries on the Kama Sutra cite and quote text from other Hindu texts such as the Upanishads, the Arthashastra, the Natya Shastra, the Manu Smriti, the Nyayasutra, the Markandeya Purana, the Mahabharata, the Nitya Shastra and others to provide the context, per the norms of its literary traditions. The extant translations of the Kama Sutra typically incorporate these commentaries, states Danielu. In the colonial era marked by sexual censorship, the Kama Sutra became famous as a pirated and underground text for its explicit description of sex positions. The stereotypical image of the text is one where erotic pursuit with sexual intercourse include improbable contortionist forms in reality. According to Doniger, the real Kama Sutra is much more and is a book about the art of living, about understanding one's body and a partner's body, finding a partner and emotional connection, marriage, the power equation over time in intimate relationships, the nature of adultery and drugs, aphrodisiacs, along with many simple to complex variations in sex positions to explore. It is also a psychological treatise that presents the effect of desire and pleasure on human behavior. For each aspect of karma, the Kama Sutra presents a diverse spectrum of options and regional practices. According to Shastri, as quoted by Doniger, the text analyzes the inclinations of men, good and bad. Thereafter it presents Vātsyāyana's recommendation and arguments of what one must avoid as well as what to not miss in experiencing and enjoying, with acting only on the good. For example, the text discusses adultery but recommends a faithful spousal relationship. The approach of Kama Sutra is not to ignore nor deny the psychology and complexity of human behavior for pleasure and sex. The text, according to Doniger, clearly states that a treatise demands the inclusion of everything, good or bad. But after being informed with in-depth knowledge, one must reflect and accept only the good. The approach found in the text is one where goals of science and religion should not be to repress, but to encyclopedically know and understand. Thereafter let the individual make the choice. The text states that it aims to be comprehensive and inclusive of diverse views and lifestyles.